This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. I'm Derek Gilbert with our Friday Five things you need to know, our big stories of the week heading into the weekend for August 30th of 2024. Program note, Monday being Labor Day, we will not have a program on Monday, so we will be back on Tuesday. We pray you have a blessed long weekend with friends and family. Item number 5 today, the interview. Finally, interesting that it's major news that a presidential candidate finally deigns to sit down and take questions from a journalist. 40 days after essentially becoming the de facto and then the official nominee of the Democratic Party for president, Kamala Harris sat down with her emotional support governor, Governor Tim Walz, vice presidential candidate, with Dana Bash of CNN Thursday. The pre-recorded and edited interview aired last night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Anyway, whatever it was similar to her speech at the Democratic National Convention in that it was workmanlike, competent. She didn't embarrass herself, but on the other hand, there's really nothing remarkable there. Now, if you're looking for content, amazingly short on content, Bash, who is openly pro-Democrat, no fan of Donald Trump, actually asked some good questions, pressing Harris on why she's flipped her positions on fracking. She, in the 2020 presidential campaign, said day one she would ban fracking. She has since flipped, said she will not ban fracking. And just as a quick interjection here, the President of the United States, according to the Constitution, does not have the power to just unilaterally ban fracking. That really would require an act of Congress, or it should. Now, presidential administrations here in recent years have used regulations to legislate, using the EPA, for example, or the Department of Energy to establish rules that essentially ban fracking without actually banning things they don't like without actually going to Congress and passing laws. The Constitution dictates the legislature, Congress, should pass laws. This idea that, would you ban fracking as president, that's a false premise. The president, I digress. We've kind of gotten used to America thinking the president is a king or a queen in this case. That's not how it's supposed to work. Anyway, she flipped her position. She's also flipped her position on the border wall. Harris responding by saying, my values have not changed. And she may actually believe that that's true. Of course, that would only be true if her one overriding value is, I really, really want to be president. And so whatever she says is in service of that overarching value, in which case that statement is true. Otherwise, not so much. It was a friendly room, and that is important because she and Governor Walz, who also dodged questions about misrepresenting his military service, came across as friendly enough, and sadly for a lot of American voters, that'll be good enough. Hey, they're not Trump. Just remember, the Lord's seen all of this in advance, and he's in control. Speaking of Mr. Trump, item number 4, we told you this week about the lawfare continuing against him as Special Counsel Jack Smith filed a superseding indictment against former President Trump Tuesday, trying to charge him anyway, somehow, some way, this in the January 6th riots case, the J6 2021 protests at the U.S. Capitol. I think they may be overplaying their hand. I think it's become obvious to independent voters now, who will ultimately decide the election, that this is all politically motivated. Meanwhile, Trump's campaign is trying to clarify remarks he made to a reporter on Wednesday about a ballot initiative in Florida. This is a constitutional amendment that'll be voted on in November to enshrine the right to an abortion before fetal viability. Trump seemed to indicate support for the amendment, saying that he thought the current law in Florida, which bans abortions after 6 weeks, was too restrictive, that the deadline is too soon. Pro-life Christians took to social media on Thursday to criticize Trump for that, perhaps forgetting that the information about what Trump had said was coming to them from the corporate media. Anyway, Trump's campaign shot down the idea that Trump indicated how he's going to vote on that amendment, saying that all he said was he thought the 6-week time limit was too soon. Now, agree or disagree, it is obviously a very sensitive topic on both sides of the issue. For her part, Kamala Harris's official campaign on Thursday night posted to X that if elected, Donald Trump would ban abortions, would establish a federal abortion coordinator, anti-abortion coordinator, who would then require all 50 United States to submit information on abortions and miscarriages. Now, Donald Trump has not said anything remotely like that on the campaign trail. Apparently for Kamala Harris, just outright lying is what you fall back on when you don't have any policy initiatives on which you can run. Topic number 3, Ukraine. The situation there is getting kind of grim. We talked this week about the Kursk invasion, that incursion into southern Russia near the city of Kursk, which is home of one of Russia's main nuclear power plants, is Ukraine's Battle of the Bulge moment. We learned yesterday that weapons platforms supplied by the West are not turning the tide in Ukraine's favor. A U.S.-made F-16 now has been shot down in Ukraine, this apparently on its first mission. Sadly, the pilot did not survive. What's truly sad is that according to a member of the Ukrainian Rada, which is their legislature, the plane was shot down by a U.S.-supplied Patriot missile, apparently due to lack of communication and coordination between the Air Force and the missile battery on the ground. They did not identify the plane as a friendly. There's supposed to be an IFF, identify friend or foe system that lets your side know not to shoot down your own planes, and for some reason, this did not protect the pilot in the F-16. There are unconfirmed reports that 2 other F-16s may have been destroyed on the ground, which was a fear that some analysts had, that once the planes got there, Russia would just take them out with missiles. That may have been the point of Russia's missile barrage against Ukraine earlier this week. Elsewhere, it looks like the United Kingdom's vaulted Challenger 2 battle tank has been heavily deployed in the Kursk region and not turning the tide there either. Reportedly, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and Defense Secretary John Healey had been discussing with one another about how far to go to confirm the presence of British weaponry and soldiers in this incursion towards Kursk. Once more, UK newspaper The Times reports that UK weapons and personnel are in fact heavily involved there. Quote, unseen by the world, British equipment, including drones, have played a central role in Ukraine's new offensive, and British personnel have been closely advising the Ukrainian military on a scale matched by no other country, end quote. In other words, the United Kingdom is taking the lead in making itself a formal co-belligerent in this war between Ukraine and Russia in the hope of drawing in other Western countries, particularly the United States. And disturbingly, Andrei Yermak, head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, and Ukraine's Defense Minister Rustem Umerov are in the United States right now. Umerov meeting with our Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin today. They're presenting a list of targets inside Russia, trying to convince the Biden administration to approve the use of long-range American-made missiles against Moscow. On Wednesday, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky called for allowing Ukraine to carry out strikes deeper in Russia, arguing it would end the war sooner, quote, for Ukraine and for the world as a whole, end quote. No, that is in fact a lie. It would drag the rest of the world into Ukraine's war. The war needs to end. There is nothing more to be gained. In fact, for Ukraine, nothing has been gained, and 600,000 young men and women have been lost. Topic number 2, Israel. Israel facing war in the north. We told you earlier this week about the preemptive strike against Hezbollah rockets and drones on early Sunday morning. Took out about 6,000 missiles and drones that were being prepped for launch against central Israel. Also this week, Israel launched a major operation into Judea and Samaria, what the world calls the West Bank. This is the largest West Bank operation in a decade. Israeli forces stormed the cities of Jenin and Tulkarm, which are militant strongholds, killing at least 10 Hamas militants and arresting thousands of suspected terrorists. This operation, as of this recording, is still ongoing. Now, why did Israel decide to do this? Because Iran has spent the last 10 years quietly smuggling advanced weapons systems into the West Bank to use against central Israel, arming them in the hopes of another October 7th type attack against heavily populated areas around Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem and for the success of the IDF operation. Coming up, you think you got a bad boss? Well, I think the story coming up has you beat. That's next on 5 and 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can easily and conveniently stream this incredible new film, Void Earth Cataclysm Before Genesis, right now at skywatchtv.com/stream or on the mobile app for immediate access. However, if you'd like to receive your own hard copy on DVD, Skywatch TV is proud to announce the Void Earth Ultra Collection. When you order this exclusive collection from the Skywatch TV store, you'll receive the brand new documentary from Defender Investigative Films, Void Earth Cataclysm Before Genesis, along with Dr. Thomas Horn and Reverend Donna Howell's best-selling book, Before Genesis, The Unauthorized History of Tohu, Bohu, and the Chaos Dragon in the Land Before Time. These powerful works present astounding revelations like no other, taken directly from the Word of God, the conclusion to the events of Genesis that merges all contributing voices from not only the young and old creationist groups, but the scientific community as well into one balanced and agreeable climax. They reveal precisely how ancient archaeological sites like Göbekli Tepe and the Doorway of the Serpent point irrefutably to an intelligent race of beings here on Earth thriving before the time of Adam and under Lucifer's fallen dominion. They pull back the veil on exactly what the Earth was like during the without form and void era of Genesis 1-2, and so much more, featuring Dr. Michael Lake, Derek Gilbert, Reverend Donna Howell, Gary Stearman, and the late Dr. Thomas Horn in what would become his last documentary appearance ever. But that's not all. You'll also receive 315, The Genesis of All Prophecy by the legendary Rabbi Eric Walker. This prophetic, convicting, and heart-rending book exposes anti-Semitism as Satan's plan to eliminate the Jews and the catastrophic consequences the world will face if this agenda succeeds. Sold separately, all of these items hold a retail value of $75. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Void Earth Ultra Collection now.
Item number one today, if you're feeling neglected at work, just pray that you don't end up like this Wells Fargo employee in Tempe, Arizona. A woman working at the Wells Fargo corporate office there died and wasn't found for 4 days. Died at her desk and was not discovered until 4 days later. According to Tempe police, 60-year-old Denise Prudhomme scanned into work August 16th, 7 a.m. 4 days later, August 20th, police were called about a subject down. Security at the building found Prudhomme dead in the building days after she clocked in. Authorities say no sign of foul play. A colleague found her. Several people reportedly had smelled a foul odor but put it off, just assumed it was faulty plumbing. The building is supposed to have 24/7 security and monitoring, which begs the question of how she was overlooked for 4 days. The woman's desk reportedly on the third floor and away from the main aisle. Most of the employees in that division work remotely, but still, with 24/7 security and monitoring, and nobody noticing that she hadn't clocked out again after that first clock. This is really a heartbreaking story. We're not laughing at this, but just something to bear in mind. If you've got a boss who kind of hovers, a helicopter boss, at least know that if you have a medical emergency, somebody will notice relatively quickly. Skywatch TV announcing the Donna Howell Show. If you've seen Donna Howell, if you read on any of the Skywatch TV programs or read any of her books, you know she is extremely bright, a dynamite researcher, wonderfully gifted writer, and a passionate speaker. And now she is speaking out on her own program, The Donna Howell Show, available now from Skywatch TV, all our usual platforms. That would be our YouTube channel, our app, Roku, Apple TV, and coming soon, Fire Stick and other platforms as well. We're also bringing back the program Return to Eden, discussing health and nutrition, ways that you can strengthen yourself for the struggle that we have ahead. It's hard to be effective for our King when you don't feel well enough to get up off the couch. There are things, common sense things you can do other than medicating to help improve your lot. Don't miss the program. You'll watch it. You can watch it right now at skywatchtv.com. All of our video content is always there. You can also catch it right now over the air. Our broadcast schedule for our partner Christian networks is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Our set-top boxes, Apple TV and Roku. If you've got the Skywatch TV channel installed, you can catch it there right now. You can also watch it over the internet, youtube.com/@Skywatch Television or rumble.com/Skywatch TV, or better yet, get our free mobile app. Bring everything we do right into your smartphone or tablet. Not only does it get you all of our video content, bypassing the gatekeepers, will never get canceled. Also, a tab there that takes you directly to our streaming video sites. You can watch the new documentary, Void Earth, right there. And using your device and the app, you can cast the video using Google's Chromecast or Apple's AirPlay to your smart TV. Much more available. It's available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets. And we got links to those app stores at our website, skywatchtv.com/app. In November, Sharon and I planning a return to Israel, our solidarity mission as we stand arm in arm with the people of Israel in what is really an existential struggle. This is a civilizational struggle that goes back 14 centuries. I'm talking about Islam versus the rest of the world. Israel just happens to be on the front lines because that's the supernatural heart of all of this, ground zero in this long supernatural struggle. If you're interested in joining us, we'll be taking a small group with us, maybe a dozen people. You can find out more at our website, gilberthouse.org/travel, gilberthouse.org/travel. Follow 5 in 10 online, youtube.com/@5in10 or X, formerly Twitter, @5_in_10. Again, no program Monday because of the Labor Day holiday here in the United States. And until Tuesday then, thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.